Hello, 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 my beloved souls. It's Twin Flame Tuesday. I missed you guys. Happy February. There's been so much going on, transmuting, alchemizing, all the things, right? All the things. Um, we had a beautiful portal on the 2-2 that opened up and really gave us this powerful portal to not only receive our beautiful manifestations in a physical form, but a lot of opportunities opened up, right? If you were really present and grounded, you would have saw a lot of just opportunities coming for you, right? And obviously it's kind of like it's almost like the Seven of Cups energy, right? In the tarot, right? Where you have just a lot of options before you, and it's kind of like, oh, which cup do I want to choose, right? And so when we're in that energy, in that space, you need to be, sorry, hold on. Hell, something's like in my eye. I just got by my eye. I don't know. Um, but obviously, when we're in that space and that energy, you need to be discerning, right? Because you don't want to drink from every cup that's offered to you, right? You get poisoned, you get sick. We don't want to do all that. So it gave us, though, a plethora of options to see like what is in alignment with our truth, what is in our alignment with our soul, and then how we want to move forward with that energy from there. So it was a really beautiful portal. And I know I posted something on the community page to just kind of like, hey, make sure that you guys are using this time to really manifest, right? Crystal clear clarity. I cannot stress that enough. Crystal clear clarity will get you so far in this life, right? Um, and clarity on you and your life and your desires and your goals, right? Not so much focusing on other people because we all have free will, but focusing your energies, right? I always tell people that I'm working with when they're kind of like manifesting, especially in the Twin Flame Collective, right? You're like focused on this one person. And I'm like, stop focusing on them as a person and focus on the energy that you're trying to draw into your existence, right? Because you may think it's that person, not knowing all the karma, the trauma, the toxicity that they have to heal and kind of grow through and stuff like that. And that might not even be your divine counterpart, right? The universe might have something better in store for you, right? The person that's going to be in alignment with you. And so that's kind of like always the energy that I put out there. So it was a really powerful sign. And then we had the full moon in Leo last night, right? And I don't know if you guys saw her. Freaking Luna was sexy. She was huge. She was gorgeous. She was standing out, shining bright like Leos do, right? On the spotlight, on the red carpet. And a lot of strength, a lot of power coming through with that full moon, and things that needed to still be healed, especially within, I want to say, the divine masculine collective, really coming to the forefront, right? Again, not again. If you watch the divine masculine collective, I spoke about this briefly, but there's this energy of toxicity within kind of like the feminine collective, right? Unhealed karmic energy triggers toxicity that have been portrayed onto and projected onto a lot of males within our society. And that energy has been coming up to the forefront where you need to heal it, right? I had a very potent dream where I just saw someone in my dream that I hadn't seen in a really long time, right? In like years, and was kind of like, oh my God. And he was like, yeah, I was like kind of sitting in jail for a while and I didn't know what was gonna happen. And then at the end something kind of like changed and I was finally able to get out. But I was kind of like, nobody even knew that I was gone or that I was kind of like missing. And then when he got out, he was like, oh my God. And then I heard you were in town. And so I came over and I'm like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like I haven't seen you in forever. I didn't even know that you were going through this stuff, right? And so there's a lot of our masculines, right, out there. And I'm not just talking about gender males, but the divine masculine energies that are going through things right now that they need to grow through that you may not even be aware of. And so a lot of compassion, a lot of nurturing, a lot of patience is going to be needed with the divine masculine collective at this time, as well as the divine feminine collectives that are still healing and dealing with the toxic, unhealed, karmic feminines within the collective, not only as to how they're showing up in their lives, but how they're projecting that negativity onto the divine feminines that are doing the inner work, that are doing the healing, that are taking accountability for their journey, right? And so there's a lot of this push pull going on, push pull, right? And people just kind of having to deal with a lot of trauma and drama and triggers and karma, but not necessarily their own only, but also those of another, right? And so everyone right now needs to just have a little bit more compassion, a little bit of patience. And we started off 2022 Healing the Divine Feminine Collective at a massive, massive upgrade, right? The Divine Feminine energy is coming back on the planet, and she's healing and she's nurturing and she's really pouring into everyone. And then the Divine Masculine Collective went into retro. We went into retrograde with Mars towards the end of the year, healing the unhealed Divine Masculine Collective, right? And so the Divine Masculine Collective, poor baby, started off the year like having to come into balance with their feminine energy, and to see how that can give to them, pour into them, nurture them, all this stuff. And at the end of the year, they had to take a look at the ugly toxicity and karma that was within their collective and what else needed to be healed, right? And so things are a lot more in balance right now, but still with this Leo energy, again, Leo's like the spotlight, the red carpet, you're going to see them, you're going to feel them, you're going to know that they're around. If you have not dealt with it, or if you're avoiding it, or if you don't like how it looks, guess what? It's going to be in your face. It's going to be in your face, and you're going to have to see it. You're going to have to deal with it. Karmically, triggers, whatever, right? If you get triggered by something, how you respond shows where you're at on your journey of healing. Point blank and simple, right? If something triggers you, you need to understand, why is that trigger you? Why is that getting under your skin? Why does that bother me so much? Right? Because if things don't really bother us, we water off a duck's back. You keep it banging. But if something gets to you so bad that you're able to just snap and you do some other karmic shit on top of it, guess what? That says everything about you, not even really anything about the situation, but it's more so a highlight to you. And so within the Twin Flame Collective, we need to be aware of that. Like, not only are we going through stuff as a divine feminine or a divine masculine, but our divine counterparts are also going through things. If that is even your divine counterpart, that could be a karmic that's there to teach you a lesson, and you think that that's your twin flame, but it could be a false twin. How often has that happened? Too often. Too often. I see it all the time. I see it all the time. Person has all these boxes that they check off, and it seems like everything is good, but really they're here to help heal us, right? They're a part of our soul tribe to help activate us and push us forward, or to have us heal an aspect of ourselves that we haven't really healed. And especially now within the spiritual community, it's like false prophets, and it's painful to watch. But if you're taking your spiritual energies and not really using them for the highest and greatest good, because you have this kind of like self-righteousness and I am holier than thou thing going on within you, right? Like, that's another aspect that needs to be healed. And so we have a lot of people within the community, within the collective, that are being misguided by these false prophets, right? People that say that they're spiritual and that they're in alignment and that they're one with their higher self, but in actuality they're still projecting their condemnations, judgments, fears, and all types of other nonsense on other people. They're just doing it at a different level, right? Maybe you're not as toxic as you were before, but if you're still in the sense of like judgment and criticism, you have to deal with that, right? You have to acknowledge it. You have to realize that maybe you're not as far along as you thought you were. And that's not a bad thing, right? It's not to sit there and be in judgment of you. It's just to be in awareness of it, because when you know better, then you do better, right? So now you have an opportunity to fix it. So, my beautiful twin flames, we have all of that coming up within our dynamics to help heal out, right? And so I know, again, with this beautiful full moon energy, um, if you're in a false twin relationship, you're probably going to see it, right? And it's going to be huge red flags and huge kind of like awarenesses that are brought to your huge events or statements or things that are just going to be put right in your face. Like, the rose colored glasses are going to be freaking removed, and you're going to be seeing things quite clearly, and you may not necessarily like the things that you see, right? Whether that's about yourself or about this person that's showing up as your twin, right? And if they're your twin, then it's about yourself as well. So we need to heal that energy the way it goes out. So just being aware of that. People are either going to really be coming into union, coming into solidarity and unity at this time, because they've been doing the inner work, and that love energy is going to be amplified as we move into next week and Valentine's Day and stuff like that. Valentine's Day is kind of like the collective love day, right? And so it amplifies that energy. So is it going to be you're sticking it out because you just want to be with someone on Valentine's Day, even though you see without a shadow of a doubt that this person is not the one for you? Or are you going to like step away from that energy because you realize that on love day you should be loving yourself first and foremost, right? And how are you showing up in this dynamic? What can you do to love on yourself, right? Is this person a reflection of the love that you feel within? These are some things that you can journal about. This card fell out while we were talking. Worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. All right. They even go into the reading yet. It just came out. So you're worth waiting for. And you need to know that as a divine masculine, as a divine feminine, like you are worth waiting for, right? And so again, twin flames, this is an eternal game, right? We all like to rush. Like I said, Valentine's Day comes up and that can be very triggering for some people who don't like to be alone, because you're not in the energy of like self-love yet. But we need to understand that one, the twin flame um dynamic is an eternal game, right? Like we're eternal souls. We don't have to get it all figured out right now, and maybe we're not ready to be together in this lifetime. Two, this is a journey about self love, first and foremost. How can you unconditionally love somebody else if you don't unconditionally love yourself first, right? Jesus said, love thy neighbor as you love thyself. Love thyself. You have to love you first before you can go love somebody else first. Okay? Gotta work that out. We tend to do the reverse, right? We tend to want to like love on this other person and think that that's gonna make us feel fulfilled, but that's not how this works. You have to love you fully, completely, deeply, passionately, and then you can pour that into another person and allow that to be a reflection back to you. Okay. Woo. All right, angels and guides. What do we have for the twin flames? This portal that just closed and beautiful full moon in Leo. What do they need to know? What do they need to see? We're going to do the Romance Angels deck. Wow. And then we're going to pull from Earth Magic and Gateway Oracle. Keep an open mind. Like I said, for some of you, this is your twin, whatever. For others, it may not be, right? And so just be open to the energy that, like, you know what? I may love this person. We may have a really good connection, but there are some pieces that are missing. And maybe this isn't my divine counterpart, right? Maybe this is just like a soul teacher that's coming into my life right now. Or you could have somebody coming into your life that you weren't even anticipating kind of like being with. Like they're not really your type, right? Maybe they're too short, maybe they're too tall, maybe they're too fat, maybe they're old or young or whatever it is. And they're like, hey, keep an open mind. Like just because they don't look the way that you would think that your divine counterpart looks doesn't mean that that's not the person. We're looking at a soul level, right? So your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. That's funny. All right. So they may look a little differently. They may be shorter than you like. They may be taller than you like. They may be fatter, thinner, older, younger. But either way, keep your heart open, right? Be open to the connection. Let them speak to your soul and then see what happens. So often we judge and criticize people for the lives that they lived and not knowing who they are as a soul level, like at a soul level, right? Who they are at the core. So just be open. Keep it open. All right. We had a lot of cards fall out. Okay. Past life relationship. You have known each other before. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. You ever meet somebody and you just feel like you've known them forever? You're like, where do I know you from? Like, have we met before? That kind of energy. Keep that vibe going, right? Again, a lot of the healing and clearing that's going on is moving away the things that don't make sense in our lives so that we can bring forward the things that do, right? And so there could be this deep connection where you're going to meet somebody and feel like you've just known them before, right? If you're not already with your divine counterpart, right? Maybe you guys are already together and you're like, yeah, I know that's my person. We've had a million past lives together, right? All good things. Beautiful. Separation. Time apart from your partners on the horizon. I feel this could be for some of you that are in union that may be kind of like on the outs, but I also get this card whenever I have people that live in different parts of the world, right? And so it could just be like maybe you guys met on holiday or something like that, or yeah, and like they're going back to school or they're going back to their country or however it works out, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Sometimes absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? Like it's all well and good and we're here and the sex is great and it's passionate, but are we still going to keep that same vibe, that same energy when you're across the globe, when you're in another state, when you're in another country? right? Will it maintain that flame? And sometimes that's what we need to go through to see if this is really what we want. See if this is really who is designed for us. Okay? Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. It's we set goals in life for our career and like all this other shit, but people forget to set goals in life for their relationships, right? It's like, oh, I just want to get married. Okay, and then what? We're gonna have kids. All right, and then what? Like, you want to get married, fantastic. You have this big ass party, cost you mad guap. Okay, fantastic. And then what? The relationship doesn't just stop once we get married. Like, you need to have goals in your relationship. Like, what can we do to keep the spark going? What efforts were you making before you guys got married? And are you going to keep that same energy? All right, you guys want to have kids. All right, is your life just going to be around children, or are there things that you want to do with your children? Is there places that you want to go and visit and be? And do you guys want to start a business together? Or is this your career path? Is that their career path? Are you guys in alignment? You know, ask some questions. You got to make the effort, right? Affection, time, romance, intimacy, communication. It's all a part of it. Okay. Finances and career. I love the fact that it's coming up because again, it's like, what am I doing with my career? What are you doing with your career? And are we like in alignment? Like, I don't need to be in the same industry as you. You could be in technology, I'm in art, whatever it is, but we're contributing to the household, right? Like, is my career something that takes me far from home all the time and I'm constantly traveling? And is that going to be an issue in this dynamic? Or are you so like, and the energy of just grind, that you're always at work, that you're forgetting that you have a partner at home, right? And so sometimes that's what finances and career come in. Also, for some of you, this could be that you are going to meet your divine counterpart at your place of business, right? And sometimes the things that keep twin flames apart are status, right? They're the CEO of a company. You happen to work at reception. People are like, oh, well, he's only with you because he's a gold digger. She's only with you because she's a gold digger, right? And it's like, oh, well, they're less than you, or they make less than you, or you're dating the janitor, and why would you do that? But again, we're talking about eternal love here, right? What did I come into this lifetime to experience? What did you come into this lifetime to experience? And how can we meld that? Okay, just putting it out there. And in wedding, the situation involves marriage. Is your divine counterpart married to someone already? Are you married right now? And you've met your divine counterpart, and holy shit, now you are in love with someone who is not your husband or your wife. That can be an issue, right? People get married because everybody else is doing it, right? We want to kind of like, oh, I want to be married, and you're so quick and want to get married so bad that that's just something that you do. But if you look here, she's all into it and he's not. He looks fucking miserable. This is the energy of like an arranged marriage to me, right? And so we don't want to just do it, get married, be with this person because we think or a psychic told us that this is our twin flame, and we're just gonna do it just for the fuck of it. No, like it needs to be a heart connection, right? And if your divine counterpart happens to be married right now, then guess what? Then there's some healing and some lessons that they need to learn there in order for that relationship to dissolve, in order for you guys to move forward, right? It's not like God is setting you up and is like, oh, go steal somebody's husband or wife. That's not a thing. It's not a thing. Just putting that out there is not a thing. It's not like God is out there trying to have people hurt. But sometimes we're married to our soul teachers and our karmic partners because we needed to learn lessons. Married, have children with, long time partnerships, financially dependent upon, right? I have a lot of clients that are in unhealthy relationships because they don't have the finances to leave. There's no love there anymore. There hasn't been love or passion there for a long time, but because they're financially dependent upon one another, right? And so all of those things are going to be brought up to the forefront with this full moon in Leo, right? Good, bad, or indifferent, it's coming up. So if you're with someone only for finances, guess what? That's about to be a huge shift. If you're with someone just because you should be married or your family doesn't believe in divorce, guess what? You're about to get a huge motherfucking wake up call. Again, at the end of the day, this is about self love first and foremost. How are you loving yourself? Are you showing the universe and your divine counterpart that you love yourself because you're just staying in a loveless marriage because it's good lining your pockets? Are you showing the universe that you love yourself because you're dealing with somebody because you got married when you did and your family doesn't really believe in divorce, and so you're just going to kind of deal with it because you feel kind of stuck and obligated to this tradition of being fucking miserable because that's what's always been done, right? These are some of the things that we need to think about and that are going to come up. All right, let's go Gaia first. Gaia, what do you got for the twin flames? What do I need to know? What do I need to see with this full moon in Leo? What do I need to know? What do I need to see? What do the twin flames need to know and see? Wow. Music, harmony. Ooh. Some of you are going to be connecting through music. Some of you are musicians. I feel like for some of you, your divine counterpart is like your muse, right? They inspire some of the music that you create. So maybe you're going to be meeting them at a concert, in a orchestra, at some type of musical event, or you see them performing, or they see you performing, or um, I just hear they're going to be like sending you messages and songs. So I would just start paying attention to some of the music that is coming through for you that's really like kind of tugging at your heartstrings, and not just like any music, but like the music that's kind of like following you around, you know. And I'm not talking about you listening to the same station every day and they play the same 5 songs. I'm talking like you cannot get away from this artist. You cannot get away from this song. Like there's something there speaking to you. Like, what is it? All right. That's going to be a really powerful connection for some of you. I feel like some of you are going to be writing music together. Um, I don't know. So maybe one of you plays an instrument and one of you, the instrument is your voice. So you guys are just going to be writing songs together or conducting music together. I just feel like that's going to be a big connection for you. All right. We got stone people, vigilance. Beautiful. The divine masculine's got this, right? It's just showing how strong you are and how strong this connection can be when it's real, right? When we do the healing, when we do the inner work, when we stop trying to force things and trying to make it fit, right? This connection is strong and it's dope and nothing can break it. All right, nothing can break it. But we need to make sure that this is actually the connection that we're in and that we're doing this for the right reasons, not because we're lonely or sad or desperate or just wanting to be a part of this twin flame collective because so many people are and it's like trending. No, we're doing this because this is who we are as a soul and we're standing forward, and we know that even if we're not with our divine counterparts in this lifetime, that that's okay because this is a soul game. That's the difference. You have to be okay with whether or not you're with them in this lifetime or not. And just because you're not with your twin flame in this lifetime doesn't mean that you're going to be by yourself. It means that you can learn and heal in other ways, right? Maybe they're not doing the work that they need to do. Does that mean you should be by yourself for the rest of your life? No. You know, there's amazing other high vibrational beings out there that would love to be in alignment with your sexiness, right? With your divinity. All right. But this is the strength and the power of this connection when we're doing the work, when we've done our due diligence, when we allow the divine to come through and we stop trying to force it. Okay. And then, oh, look, what does it bring us? New beginnings, the dawn of new beginnings, right? And so a lot of healing is coming up, right? A lot of transmutation, a lot of alchemy is happening for the Twin Flame Collective right now, right? Some of you are going to be meeting your divine counterparts for the first time, right? Some of you are just falling in love all over again. You're falling in love with a newer, more healed version of your divine counterpart, right? Because they've been doing their inner work. 23, 23, I just saw. Forest, breath. Take a breath, right? Breathe through this. Again, this is an eternal game. You don't have to rush it. So it's okay to take your time. It's okay to take a breath. It's okay to pause and to think and to see if this is really something you want to do. A lot of twin flames have decided to opt out of this connection altogether because it's just a lot of work. They don't want to be with someone who's fucking triggering them all the time and having them making them go deep and analyze and clear out karma and drama. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you just need a break. It can be exhausting, right? I get tired of fucking healing. I'm like, come on, another layer? The fuck? Like, we're not done with this yet? But it's like you peel back a layer and there's another one. You peel back a layer, there's another one. You peel back a layer as you ascend, but guess what? You get to see that kind of situation, that energy again, as you ascend at a higher level. So how are you showing up and how are you responding to this very same energy now that you've quote unquote ascended? Right? Are you doing the same shit you were doing before? Guess what? It's going to take you back down the ladder. Or are you doing something different? Right? Are you seeing it different? Do you have a new perspective? Do you have more of an open heart this time around? Do you see how it's a benefit to you to heal and to grow? Right? Or are you just going to shun it away? Journal, people, journal. All right. Get some final messages for the twin flames. Okay. Proceeding softly. It's like the breath card that we just had, right? Breathe. Breath, breathe. I always say those wrong. Proceeding softly. My inner power grows in moments of quietude. Take a minute. Take a breath. Breathe. Be one with yourself. Drink some tea. Look at the flowers. Go outside. Take a walk. Right? When we allow ourselves to be grounded, when we are in the present moment where we have all of our power, right? Because the power is only in the now. Tomorrow is not promised and yesterday is already gone, right? When we allow ourselves to just kind of like sit with these energies and get our journals out, right? And just start writing down how we feel and kind of like taking a look at all these different aspects of life, we get a clearer perspective of things, right? And so you really just want to move forward with perfect love and perfect trust and knowing again that this is an eternal game. You don't have to rush everything. Just because you're a twin flame, this is not for everybody, but just because you're a twin flame doesn't mean that you're going to be with your twin in this lifetime. And there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you guys incarnate not to be together in this lifetime, right? Sometimes we're at different ages, we're on different sides of the world. One goes into the non-physical before the other, right? But we came to activate and to learn and to heal and to learn our own lessons, and there's nothing wrong with that. So take your time with this process, all right? And keep an open mind. We had that lesson early on. Following your bliss. Yes, this is about you being happy. Self-love, right? Look at more music, more messages of music coming in. But we have this beautiful healing energy coming in with the unicorn, as look, the balance of the sun and the moon, so the feminine and the masculine energies. But you really just want to take your time with things, right? Be happy, be joyful, self-love. How can you pour more love into yourself? As we are a reflection of that energy, guess what? The universe reflects it back to us. We need to love ourselves and nourish ourselves and pour into ourselves, and then the universe is going to show us, hey, these are other people that love, nurture, and going to pour into you as well, right? Following your bliss, your happily ever after. Where is it going to lead you as you're traversing down these paths of joy and rapture? Okay. Stepping into stillness. Wow, more of this energy of just being quiet and chilling. Get out of your heads and get into your hearts. All right. We need to quiet the mind, my beautiful twin flames. Get into your hearts when you're manifesting. Get into your hearts when you're meditating. Get into your hearts when you're in your journal. Get into your hearts when you're trying to put out into the energy exactly what it is you're desiring from the universe, right? Get into that, get into your heart, get into the stillness, the quiet, and then allow yourself to move forward. All right? My power is born in the majesty of silence. This full moon is bringing with it a lot of revelation, and you're going to have that awareness, that awareness, those answers, those gifts are going to come to you when things are quiet. The soul whispers, the ego shouts. So the ego is going to be like, yeah, let's do this, and da 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 da. The soul is going to be like, no, chill out, wait, go do something else. Let's read this book, let's take a walk, let's take a bath, go call that friend, text your mom. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be very subtle. But that's where you're going to get your answers. That's where you're going to be led to your happily ever after. Letting go. I surrender joyously to the ebbing and flowing of life. Y'all got to chill. If nothing else, you got to chill. Stop fucking. Stop listening to every single twin flame video on YouTube and every single twin flame post on Instagram and trying to see if it's going to make you fit. Just chill out. If this is who you are and what it's meant to be, you don't have to chase it. It's like, that's like me waking up every morning and like having to listen to every YouTube video on being a black woman. I don't need to do that because that's who I am. I don't watch a whole bunch of twin flame videos because I know I'm a twin flame. I don't need you to tell me what's happening with the twin flame collective. I am a twin flame. I understand what's going on in my journey. I like to listen to some of them sometimes because there are different aspects of the journey, or I'm working with different clients and I'm getting different perspectives of their twin flame journey. But no one's going to tell me about my twin flame journey because this is mine. And so I just chill out and I flow with it and I go with it. And when I'm not in alignment with my truth, then maybe I'll pull out my cards or maybe I'll talk to another reader, right? Sometimes we get into our egoic mind and we get distracted from our own answers and our own discernment, our own inner guidance. But at the end of the day, when you go into the silence and you go into the stillness and you get into the quiet, then you can hear your soul again. And then you're going with the flow of life. And then you'll be led, my beautiful twins, to your divine counterpart. So when you get that urge to all of a sudden go to Starbucks and you follow through with it, and then you're wondering why you just bumped into this person in the aisle, or this book just fell off the shelf for you in the bookstore, and it has all these answers here for you, then hey, guess what? All of a sudden you want to go to the supermarket. It's like, I don't even need anything. I was just there. Oh, let me go get the milk right now. And then you meet your fucking divine counterpart in the milk aisle as you guys go both grab for the same milk, or you bump into them in the bookstore, or you're coming out and they're holding the door for you as you're going in. All right. But how do we get there? From chilling out, from being quiet, from not forcing things, by going with the flow. And oh my gosh, for the last message, cultivating prosperity, the abundance of the universe is pouring into my life. Abundance of love, of joy, of peace. See how we have this like field and a wheelbarrow there? Why? Because they had to do the work. They had to do the work. Before we can get to all the fruit and the vegetables and the flowers that are growing in our garden, guess what? First, we got to do the work. We got to get the garden ready. We got to pull out the rocks and the weeds. We got to make our little rows. We got to plant the seeds. We got to water it. We got to make sure that it's in the right place, that it's getting enough sunshine. We got to add fresh soil if we need to, or fertilizer. And then we allow the universe to bring us all the gifts. So we're putting it all in our pot, right? We're stirring it up. And then we're leaving it and letting it simmer, knowing that God got us. Trust the process, all right? Trust the process and trust what's going to come up for you over the next couple of weeks, right? As we're heading from the full moon to the new moon. What are you seeing? What have you heard? What is triggering you? What's being projected onto you? What are you projecting? What's being reflected back to you? What do you need to heal? What do you need to acknowledge? Is your heart open? Are you living from fear? Are you judging and criticizing their past but not looking at where you need to heal on your own path? And understanding that it's a two-way street, right? You're twins. You guys are the same soul split in half. So if they got work to do, guess what? So do you, honey. It ain't a one-sided thing. It's not like, oh, I've done my inner work. Fuck out of here. No, everybody still has work to do. And we will until we cross over into the non-physical. If you didn't have more work to do, you wouldn't woke up today. It's a never-ending story. All right? It's cyclical. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. I miss you guys so much. I'm sorry that I was so harsh on you, but I want you guys to really just get in this energy of just getting into the stillness, getting into the quiet, opening your heart, and allowing love to come to you. All right? We don't need to go chase love. We are love, right? There. Later, my beloveds.